So I was going to push this through from the outside. Right, so now I'm going to feed this to the front of the car. There I am. So here we have a nice little split screen. You can see that the front camera and the rear camera here is recording. You tap it again, I can go just front, just back.
Let's move on, 'cause it's time to move on.
So a big shout out and thank you to ATOTO. We're going to get this little reversing camera fitted. This is the ATOTO X10, an amazing radio. Totally transformed my driving experience on this little Honda Civic MK8. It's got everything on it. It's got your Bluetooth connectivity, there's your CarPlay, all of that, maps, etc. It just is so much more user friendly than the original stock radio. And very recently what I've done is, if you look on the screen here, there's a front camera, and I fitted one up here. It's a dash cam, and I was so impressed with it that I said to them, what about doing the rear camera? Because if the front camera's that good, if I can see how clear that is in the back of my car, I don't need parking sensors. I can actually just use the camera to park. So that's my intention today. Okay, so let's get this off here. If you're looking for the install of how to do this X10, I will put the video link in the description down below. It's quite straightforward, there's loads of space, but you need to have a little bit of trickery on the left hand side here. You've got to trim a little bit away. And the nice thing is there's only 3 screws to undo. The original stock radio, you have to take out literally where the gear shift is and the whole center console to get to a couple of screws beneath it. But as this is an aftermarket setup, you don't need to do that. You just got to remove these 3 screws. So I've always said this, whenever I'm working on car stereos, I always like to sit over here for me on the left hand side because I'm right handed. It just makes it easier for me. This top panel here, when you remove it, little tip for you is just work your way diligently along, don't go ripping it off. And then at the back there is some vertical clips that go down, and you want to try and lift the whole of this, and then I can lift the whole thing up like so. And it's these ones here. A little bit of silicone grease on there for the next time is really good. And now with those 3 screws removed, you can simply just pull this out. Easy as that. So on the back of the unit here, there's a dedicated connection for my nice ATOTO camera. In the kit, the camera's separated from the rest of the cable, and that's really good because you need to kind of feed the cable through so you're not pushing that underneath panels, which can end up damaging the camera. And it's got the dedicated bespoke connection, which is then going to go into the back of the radio. It also gives you a little sticky pad and a couple of screws if you want to mount the camera. Now I've actually already got the connection in here because I've got my front camera connected, but this is where it goes. So I might as well use the new connection, why not? So that plugs in there. And then you've got F, which is actually, I think, for the rear, and I know that D for me is the front. I think it's D for dash cam. So I'll plug the dash cam back in again. What I like to do, little tip, is tie a knot, well, as if you're going to tie a knot in the cables, and when you plug them in, there's a little key there, so they just click together with the arrows. But they could put apart accidentally, so with it twisted like that now, it's always going to be pulling them together. It's a handy little tip. So I'm going to plug in the front camera. This is the extension harness that goes all the way to the back, but just for my own curiosity, I'm going to plug the camera straight in and we'll see how that looks. Got a protective cover on it. It's a lovely camera actually. Some of these cheap cameras I've got a plastic cover, but that's metal, it's solid, it's really good. Okay, so let's press the rear camera and see what we get. There I am. All right. Now, Look how clear that is. That is really super crystal clear, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to get this camera, because this is not just your Mickey Mouse cheap camera that you get for a £5 on AliExpress. This is a quality camera, and the fact that it's in HD means that I'm going to see every aspect of what's behind me when I'm parking. Also, it's going to be recording it, so it acts as a dash cam. Right, cue the music. Let's wire in the camera. So what I've done is I've undone these little bolts holding this rear light on, and then I've pushed a little cable through, and there's a little foam gasket there, which will be okay for just pushing this cable through for the camera. So I'm just going to push this through from the outside. And there's the cable there. Excellent. So now I can run that to the reversing light somewhere there, and I'll tidy that up in a second. And there's just enough cable for me to mount this somewhere near the middle, like that. Right, so now I'm going to feed this to the front of the car. I want to get it through this little rubber gland. By the way, I've done a video of how you stop water getting into the trunk. These seals here, the factory seals, you need to seal up where the seam is on both sides, and also where it goes into the gully here. So there's a video below, and it shows you how you stop it from leaking inside, because it's quite a common fault on these cars. Now, in order to get into this little rubber gland here, you need to take off this corner trim, and you've got to get it in the side, because you've got to push it through the bodywork, because you can't get to it from here because it's sealed. So you need to kind of drop it down through. A bit of wire is good to do this. So you need to come in through this side here, not in here, in here. So what you can do is put that on there, a bit of tape. Okay, we got to that point. Now we need to get through into this rubber gland here. Just pull this slightly, and then use the same piece of wire as your little fishing line. See, I've just managed to get the cable to push through now, so hopefully I can pull the camera cable through. A little bit of silicone spray in here. Stop it from catching, makes it so much easier. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Ta-da! Right. I think that's probably one of the hardest bits done. Just pull the rest of the slack through, and then we can start to work inside the car. I'll use one of these little grabbers to get the other end of my little gripper, just. I'm going to tape it to that. Through. Ta-da! Superb. So we got to here. Now it's just a case of getting behind this trim. And we're not too far away. huh? And then finally push this through into the dashboard. Use my little gripper tool again. There's plenty of space behind here. These are great, these little gripper tools. You can get it from my Groove On shop if you have a look. There it is, and there's plenty of slack, which I'll just coil up nicely. All the trims are back on, and you would never know I've been there. So what I'm going to do now is mount the camera, and then we'll go for a little test and see. So it comes with a couple of screws. Okay, let's go see what it looks like. Right then, you lovely people, obviously I haven't put the stereo back in, but that's a 2-minute job. So let's see how it looks. Ooh, damn, now I know it's getting a bit dark, but that is crystal clear. Have a look at this. Look at that, that is sharp as. Beautiful. Right, I'm gonna go and walk around the back. Now that is high definition. And there's one more little job to do, it's dead easy. I'm gonna wire in now the trigger wire. And thankfully, the way that I came in through the back of the car there is right where the reversing light is. So I just need to plug it into the posi of that light and it will trigger the camera. Apologies for getting so dark, but this one here, this is my reversing light. And all I'm going to do is take the white cable and put that into the positive, which is the brown. And of course I will solder that in properly, but just to prove a point, let's go and put it in reverse. So now, when I put it in reverse, have a look at the screen. Ta-da! She's all done. It's getting dark now. I'm gonna get it all back together again and have a look at the software. But when I put it into reverse, it goes into the reversing camera. And when I come out of reverse, it goes back to the radio or whatever screen you're on. Okay, so we're all back in. I just put all those screws back on. And the last little piece of trim is going on here. There we go. Oh, look at that. It's dark outside. It really is. So here's the camera here. So I appreciate it's dark, but let me give you a quick overview on this ATOTO camera. This isn't your normal run-of-the-mill reversing cameras, by the way. It's a dash cam, but it's of a high quality, and it's obviously been set up to fit with the ATOTO X10 stereo. It was easy to install. It totally depends on your car. This is a Honda Civic. I did it in probably an hour or so, but then, you know, I got a bit of experience. So for the novice person, give yourself maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but it's not that difficult. I like to start with the camera at the back. There should be more than enough cable to run it through to the front, and then using things like these little gripper tools These are great. These kind of get through different panels and things. And now I have a front camera. If I go back, there's my front camera, and I have a rear camera as well. So let's just go into reverse, and it's dark. It is nighttime outside. It's really dark, and look how much that illuminates. That is impressive. So I'm going to reverse back to these gates now, and I'm going to use the screen to guide me. What's really good about this is that I'm backing out of a bit of a blind corner here, and you can see that the camera is giving me that extra visibility. So here we have a nice little split screen. You can see that the front camera and the rear camera here is recording. You get a split screen, both recording front and back. You tap it again, I can go just front or just back. So thanks so much to ATOTO for allowing me to install their rear recording camera. It works beautifully with the ATOTO X10 radio, stereo. That's what it's been designed for. And there's a full link on how I installed this if you're interested as well. If this is your sort of thing, have a look at the playlist at the end. I've got all sorts of car fixes amongst many other car stereos if you're interested in how to install them in your car. Maybe I've done one on your particular vehicle. I'll see you on YouTube.
Let's move on, 'cause it's time to move on.